They smiled in your face, swore they'd stand by your side, and yet the knife still found your back. Funny how that works, huh? Tell me, how many times have you ignored the warning signs? How many times did you convince yourself that a snake wouldn't bite just because it hadn't yet? You thought they were different, special, incapable of betrayal. But reality doesn't care about your feelings. Reality has one rule. A snake in the grass is still a snake. They were always waiting, watching, knowing exactly when to strike. You just didn't want to believe it. See, betrayal doesn't happen in an instant. It brews, it festers, it waits. It's a storm you don't see coming because you were too busy basking in the sunlight of fake loyalty. And when it finally happens, when the bite sinks deep, you're left wondering, how? Why? You already know why. Because you gave them access. You trusted the untrustworthy. You handed them the knife, and then acted surprised when they used it. Look back, every betrayal you ever suffered, every time someone turned on you, didn't the signs exist? The moments that didn't sit right, the whispers in your gut, the quiet warnings you brushed aside. But no, you wanted to believe in them. You wanted to think they were different. Here's the truth. Some people aren't meant to be trusted. Some people are broken. They're just snakes pretending to be human. And the worst part, they don't even feel bad about it. They smile, they justify it, they move on like nothing happened. Meanwhile, you're left there, bleeding, questioning everything, trying to make sense of something that never made sense to begin with. You thought loyalty meant something to them? Loyalty? That's just a tool they use when it benefits them. The moment you're no longer useful, the moment they find a better opportunity, you become nothing more than a memory they don't even bother to revisit. And yet, you still sit there, shocked, hurt, acting like this was unexpected. Wake up. You weren't betrayed by accident. You were betrayed because that's what snakes do. And unless you learn to see them for what they are, it will happen again, and again, and again. So tell me, will you learn? Or will you keep reaching into the grass, hoping that this time the snake won't bite? You sit there, replaying everything in your mind, over and over again. The words they said, the moments that felt so real, the promises that turned to dust the second you weren't useful anymore. And then it hits you, like a cold slap across the face, like a dagger twisting in your gut. They were never who you thought they were. And you? You were just a fool with open arms, welcoming the very thing that was always meant to destroy you. But let's be honest, deep down you knew. The way they changed when they got what they wanted, the sudden distance when things weren't in their favor, the hollow apologies, the fake smiles, the words that never matched their actions. Yet you ignored it. You told yourself you were overthinking, that you were just being paranoid, that maybe, just maybe, they really did care. But now, as you sit there with the sting of betrayal burning through your chest, you realize something. They were always going to leave, always going to switch sides, always going to do what suited them, because that's what people like them do. Loyalty, integrity, honor, those are just fancy words they throw around when it's convenient. But when it's time to choose, when it's time to show who they really are, they pick themselves every single time. And now here you are, wounded, angry, questioning everything, wondering if you could have done something differently. That's the worst part, isn't it? That tiny voice in your head, whispering, maybe you were the problem. Maybe you weren't enough. Maybe you pushed too hard. Maybe you expected too much. Let me stop you right there. This wasn't about you. It was never about you. This was about them. Their nature, their selfishness. A snake doesn't bite because you deserve it. It bites because that's what it does. So now the question is, what will you do? Will you keep mourning what never was? Will you keep hoping for an apology that will never come? Will you sit in this pain, drowning in the betrayal, or will you wake up? Because this moment right here, this is your choice. You can let this break you, or you can let it build you. But either way, one thing is clear. You will never be the same again. There's a moment, a brutal, unforgiving moment, when the pain stops feeling like pain. It sharpens, hardens, turns into something else entirely. At first, you mistake it for numbness, but then you realize it's clarity. And for the first time, you see not just them, not just the ones who betrayed you, but yourself. You see the version of you that tolerated too much, excused too much, gave too much. You see the fool who kept offering a hand to people who were only waiting for the right moment to cut it off. And the worst part, you let them. Not because you were weak, but because you believed. Because you thought loyalty meant something. Because you thought people were like you. But not everyone operates with a heart. Some people, they move like shadows, slithering through your life, smiling through their teeth, saying all the right things while sharpening their knives behind their back. And when they finally strike, they don't feel guilty. They don't regret it. They don't even look back, because to them, you were never real to begin with. Just a stepping stone, a convenience, a means to an end. And to think you actually lost sleep over them. But not anymore, because this is the awakening, the moment you stop being the prey. You don't need apologies. You don't need explanations. You don't need closure. You just need to accept the truth. They are what they are, and you are done pretending that people like that deserve a place in your life. So let them talk, let them spread their lies, let them watch from a distance if you rebuild yourself from the ruins they left behind. Because something happens when you stop looking for justice, when you stop waiting for karma to do its job, when you stop expecting people to be better than they are. You become dangerous, not bitter, not broken, but dangerous, because now you know exactly what to look for, exactly what to avoid, exactly who not to trust. And that knowledge, that is power. So let them laugh. Let them think they won. They have no idea what's coming next. You've seen the truth. You felt the knife in your back. And now it's time to become something else. No more naivety, no more blind trust, no more giving without questioning. You are no longer their fool. You see, people love the version of you that serves them. The version that bends, that gives, that never asks for anything in return. But the moment you stop being useful, the moment you demand even a fraction of what you gave, they vanish. Or worse, they turn on you. So now you do what needs to be done. You stop explaining yourself, you stop justifying your boundaries, you stop apologizing for wanting something more than being someone's convenience. The world taught you that kindness is a currency, and when it runs out, so does their love. So fine, let it run out. Because from here on out, you're done being the easy option. You sharpen yourself, like a blade that's been too soft for too long. You stop walking into situations blindly, hoping people mean what they say, hoping they care the way you do. No, now you watch. You listen, you calculate. You don't react, you respond. And when you move with precision. Because power isn't about being feared. It's about never being controlled again. They thought they broke you. They thought they could discard you, and you'd stay broken, begging, waiting for them to come back and love you again. But they don't get it, do they? You're not broken. You're evolving. You've turned pain into awareness, loss into strength, a betrayal into armor, And now they don't recognize you anymore. Good, because the version of you they once knew, the one they could use, manipulate, leave behind without a second thought, that person is dead. And in their place stands something else entirely. A force, a reckoning, a presence that no longer seeks validation but commands respect. And if they ever dare to slither back into your life, whispering apologies, pretending they've changed, you won't even need to respond. They'll already know. The snake thought it was hunting. It never realized it was being watched. And you're not prey anymore. You never were. So, here we are, at the end of the road. Or maybe the beginning of a new one. You've seen their true colors. You've felt the sting of their betrayal, and you've risen from it, not broken, not bitter, but forged in fire. And now there's only one thing left to do. Walk away. Not in anger, not in vengeance. That would mean you still care, that they still have a hold on you. No, you walk away because you're done. Done explaining, done proving, done being the fool who believes that love and loyalty always go both ways. You've learned the truth, and the truth is ruthless. People don't betray you by accident. They don't lie, cheat, manipulate out of some innocent mistake. No, they knew what they were doing. They just didn't think you'd ever figure it out. And now that you have, they don't get to sit at your table anymore. Let them watch from a distance. Let them whisper. Let them wonder how you moved on, how you thrived, how you became untouchable. They'll try to rewrite history, convince themselves they weren't the villain in your story. Let them. You don't have time to argue with ghosts. The version of you they betrayed, that person is gone, buried, reborn. And this new version, the one who doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't tolerate, that's the version that wins. So let them slither in the shadows. Let them wait for an opportunity to crawl back. They'll never find it. Because the door they once walked through, it's sealed. No second chances, no revisiting old wounds, no more explaining why you deserve better. They made their choice, and so did you. You chose yourself. And that was the best decision you ever made.